Alrighty, we are back finally after a month-long delay. Hey. Welcome to Skills and Drills. Pete's a funny guy. This is not a part-time ride. For those of you who are new to this, I was away traveling for a few weeks and then decided to get hit by a storm, so it didn't really help out my ability to do the class. Alright, today we're going to be doing some sprint work. Why are we doing sprint work? Well, we are on Richmond Flats, and when you're on Richmond Flats, you work on sprinting, because that's pretty much all we got. Sprinting and working as a group. So Pete, thanks for joining us. Thanks to the other few people who are watching. We've got a handful of people joining in. I think we've got about 20 or 30 who signed up. We'll see who shows up. For those of you who are new to this ride, it is a educational ride. It's a skills work ride. It is not a race. So if you are here to plan on racing, you are wasting your time unless you enjoy to be heckled or mocked. Charles, thanks for the like. That is one piece that stays in this class. If you don't want to follow the rules, you get heckled and mocked, and sometimes you get punished. Thanks, Pete. Pete's commenting on my massive arms. He's happy to see that I did not lose the giant arms while I was out racing in Chattanooga and traveling for work. I tell you, Pete, I spend at least 3 minutes a quarter ensuring that my arms are kept up to size. Maybe a little less. Alright, so what we're going to do today, just for a quick overview, while I wait for the class to start, which we got about, just under 12 minutes to go. We're going to do our normal warm-up. We're going to ride for about 10 minutes at a nice easy 1.5, get those legs going. And then we're going to practice staying in our group, working around the bunch during that time. And then we're going to practice some sprints. But we're going to practice long sprints today. And the difference of that is anybody can do a really, really hard sprint for 5 seconds. Anybody can do a really hard sprint for 10 seconds. What's really hard is a 20 or 30 second sprint. So we're going to work on some of those today. And we're going to do a little bit of work on gearing. We've done this in the past, but we always usually kind of mix up different sprints. So all of our sprints today are going to be longer, between 20 and 60 seconds. More on the longer side. And we're going to ramp up our speed. We're going to get at it right away. So we're going to learn how to work on getting up to speed and holding it out. And try not to fade. Unfortunately, New Jay's not here, and he's our king of the 1 to 2 minute. He's our king 1 to 2 minute sprinter. But yeah, we'll see what we got there. Okay, so we got, like I said, 10 minutes. So if you need to go get your popcorn or head to the bathroom, get yourself ready, this is a great time to do it. Now I'm going to type out some instructions to the group, and hopefully they'll stay up there for a bit. Alright, so I apologize at times. I will go quiet while I type. It's hard to type and talk at the same time. So for those of you who are watching this and you might not have done this ride before, I generally put out a lot more instruction over Discord than I do typing. Again, it goes to how fast I can type versus how fast I can talk, and the delays that are in that. So if you haven't gotten on Discord, I highly recommend getting on Discord. If you're watching the video while you're going to do the ride to get the sound, you can always type in and interact. That's not a problem. But I really do recommend getting on Discord. You'll get a lot more instruction than if you just wait for the typed instruction to come out. Alright, we got about 8 more minutes. I'm sure right at the 5-minute mark we'll start getting a whole bunch of people in. Schmitty Jeff, Nessie, welcome. Reberhund, welcome. Alright. Gotta get hydrated before we have to do a lot of talking. Like I said, we got a few more minutes. The ride doesn't actually start till 6:30, so we have about 7.5 minutes left. Alright. Oh, so P asked, quickly tell us about my last race. Well, I did the 70.3 World Championships in Chattanooga, Tennessee, so half iron distance triathlon. It was a course that suited me a little bit, not a ton, but it was a really, really hard course, so that part suited me. The swim was definitely not in my favor. It was a largely upstream swim, so at an angle downstream across the Tennessee River, back, and that was about 300 or 400 meters, back about 850 meters straight up the current, took a right, angled back across, and then we got about 400 meters of swimming with the current. So of the 1.9 kilometer swim, we got 400 meters that were with the current where you didn't have to fight it at all. Got out of the swim, decent swim, not great. Jumped on the bike, 10K into the bike, hit a Cat 3 climb, crushed that, made up a lot of ground. Jumped on the next climb, which was a Cat 4, crushed that, made up more ground. Bombed down the mountain at 40 to 45 miles an hour, depending on what stretch. Passed more people there. I heard "you're effing crazy" a number of times, but we got there. And then we hit the flat section, and all the larger power monsters ate me up, passed me, and I had to try and catch them on the run. The run was a pretty good-sized run. It had about 1,000 meters of elevation change, or excuse me, 1,000 feet elevation change, or gain on the run over 21K. I turned out a 1:30 half marathon for that. Made up a lot of time on people, pulled back a ton, but yeah, not great for placing, but pretty solid time. Really good training for my next race in Miami in November, which is the A race. But yeah, it was fun. It was a fun course, really, really hard, and I watched people just implode, so that was awesome. I mean, I've never seen absolute destruction that early in a race on a climb, and it was fun to watch. More fun to pass him. All right, so we got some more folks in here. We got 18 total in the pen so far.
Hello.
Hello, Deirdre. Thanks, Pete. Yeah, it was a tough race. It was fortunately not super hot. It was warm, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Alright, let's see, we got 32 people in the pen. We got a few people who are on Discord, actually quite a few, which is I'm glad to see. Who are new people on the on Discord today?
Hey, how's it going?
How are you? Welcome, welcome. If you're not sure how to talk on Discord, you have to probably push a button because we have everyone set, except for the ride leader, set to button push. It's usually either spacebar or one of the control buttons.
Hello.
Hello there, Deirdre.
Do you know what it is on the phone?
On the phone, there should be a little button at the bottom that says push or talk.
Okay, I think it's just letting me talk, which isn't. I'll be quiet.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine so far. We'll mute you if we have to.
Sounds good.
All right, so we're going to start at 1.5 watts a kilo. The idea is, T-Bear, welcome. The idea behind this pace is to stay as a group and then just practice moving around in the bunch. And I'll go over that more for you guys in a minute. I'm just going to type it out to the group. Hey, Bumbo, I think you either got something pushed for live speak or you got your gain turned a little too low. If you could turn that up, that'd be great. All right, about 26 seconds.
Okay.
All right, great, thank you. All right, 10 seconds, folks. Remember, 1.5 watts a kilo. What I really want you guys to focus on is try and move back and forth within the group. I don't want anyone just staying where you are. Use me as that middle. So you can go in front of me, you can go behind me. What we really want to try and avoid is the group acting crazy and going out at 2.6 like Kiji Young is right now. So Solis, if you could, James, if you could back off a little bit, don't chase. That'd be fantastic. Here, 1.5 max at the front. Perfect. So we're going to have a lot of flat section here today. So there's no need to worry about hitting the climbs. We're going to be all together, stay on these nice flat roads. Should be really easy. So what I want you guys to do is, again, practice going to the front and going to the back. See what it feels like staying in the front. See what it feels like staying in the back. Try to get a good feel for what it takes to move from the back to the front. What you don't want to happen in a race is to get shuffled to the back, then you have to expend a lot of energy trying to get back to the front, especially if you don't know how to do that efficiently. So the goal of this is move up very efficiently, very quickly, but without blowing out your legs. In the same ways when you need to recover, how do you drift back in the group? What is my percentage of watts need to be less to drift back easily? If they're riding hard at the front at 2 or 3 or 4, what do I have to do just to hang at that with that pack? A lot of times you'll find riding at a 1.5, you could stay with 1.8s. And if you're with 3.0s, you don't have to necessarily do 3.0. You can sit in the pack and just enjoy the ride. All right, so today we're going to be working on our long sprints. So for anyone out there who might be a little bit injured, I don't want you pushing really hard on the sprints. Just, we'll regroup afterwards. All right, so we're looking 20 to 60 seconds. Why do I call that a long sprint? Well, when you start looking about how your muscles utilize energy, 60 seconds is when you start going beyond just your internal, like glycogen, ATP, or your real basic storage at the cellular level. So we want to be able to maximize our effort for that 20 to 60 seconds, because a lot of us who are not big power people can't just ride and sprint and wait for that 200 or 300 meter sprint. I mean, if I do that, I'm going to lose most of my races. Even if I'm racing with B guys as an A rider, I need to go from longer, further, a harder type finish. But on a Richmond type course, I'll get crushed if I wait. Because I just don't have the raw power to get out there and sprint with the big boys. So if we can take for someone who doesn't maybe have that raw power but has good power that you can sustain, that's going to give you an advantage in the sprints. Doing that 20 to 60 seconds, people may not be able to hold that. Alrighty, so we got a pretty good sized group here. I'd like to see that. We want to get the front bunched back a little bit. We got a few more minutes. But once we start our actual work on the sprints, we'll start them from everybody behind me so we can be all bunched up and starting together. And then afterwards we'll group it back up at that 1.0 to 1.5. All right, so when you're drifting back, just ease the pedals off a little bit. What you don't want to do is completely stop pedaling. If you stop pedaling, you'll just shoot off the back real quickly and you lose the draft. And when you lose the draft, it's very hard to come back in. Even on a small group like this, or a slower group like this slower group, averaging 1.5, is much more difficult to catch for a single rider. You'll have to do 2.5 due to aerodynamics and how that group effect helps your speed. All right. Yeah, so again, going through our sprinting, we're going to talk some gearing, and we're going to talk, getting up to speed quickly and maintaining it. Because a lot of energy is lost taking too much time to get up to speed. but at the same time, getting out and going too hard can hurt you as well. All right, I need to move slightly up the front. We got a small gap to the group in front of us. So Keating in that group, Reinhardt. All right, so we got Keating and Reinhardt's group up the road, 10 seconds. We'll catch them on the first sprint. We won't let them sprint, but we're not gonna chase them. Thanks, Pete. Pete's gotta get to work. He refuses to skip work to participate in skills and drills. Shows me he's not very dedicated to his learning the craft of cycling. All right, so we're at 3 more minutes of this. Again, I really want people to focus on moving. We should never be in one position right now in the peloton or in our bunch. I really want people moving back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because you really get a better feel of what positioning is and what it takes to hold that position. So good. Pearson, great. T-Bear, fantastic work. So there's two ways that sprints usually unfold. There's usually some kind of lead out, or it's just a burst from the gun. But we're going to be focusing is less of a lead out and more of a burst. And what I mean by that is when you're doing these short sprints, like 10 seconds, 5 seconds, up to about 20 seconds, just a couple hundred meters, usually a teammate or the group, the pace of the group is just absolutely lifting and rocketing up. And then someone launches out of that, gets a little bit of advantage, and they get the sprint. We're going to be talking going from, it would be a hard pace still, but it wouldn't be full on. It wouldn't be at near sprint. We're going to be talking going from hard tempo to our sprint. So we're going to practice first going up from our nice, what we're going to call our hard tempo to start is a 2.0, and then we'll go to our sprint from there. We'll cap the sprint a little bit at the start, just because I don't want everyone blowing their legs out in the first 5 minutes of this. I want to build into it so we can practice these things, so we can practice some of our gearing. And I want people to feel what the different gears feel like when you start in one or when you shift through it. Let me type some of that out. Okay, so our cap is going to be 6 watts a kilo for our first sprint. I want everyone to go ahead and get behind me. I'm going to just move up at the 2.0, and we're going to go from there. So what I want everyone to do is right now, go ahead and just pick a gear. That 2.0 is a really easy spin, and we're going to take it up to a 6.0 from there. I know it's not going to be efficient. I understand that. I want you to see what it looks like going from this kind of gear and pushing that kind of power. If you can't get to 6, that's okay. If you only get up to 4 or 5, you're still going to get the same effect. All right, so what I'm going to want you to do is when I say go, you're going to have about 10 seconds. Actually, I take it back. You're going to have 5 seconds to get up to a 6.0. And I want no shifting of gears. I want you just to hold what you got. Hold it for 5 seconds, and then ease off and we'll regroup. When I say go. And I want everyone to stay seated for this one. Okay, we're going to get ready here. All right, everyone get set. Okay, and go. Come on, 5 seconds, get up to that 6.0. Hold it for 5 seconds. Good, now ease it off. Ease it off, folks. 10 seconds total on that one. 10 seconds total. Thanks to Right On Steve. I'm going to hold 2.0, so ride very easy if you're in front of me until I pass you. Then jump on. Good, so we're looking good. Appreciate everyone trying to stay together. If you guys have any questions along the way, please feel free to chime in. This is interactive. You don't have to just listen to me talk the whole time. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing, but at 5 seconds, when we hit 6.0, after you've held it for 5 seconds, I want you to shift up 1, and then give you 5 more seconds at 8.0 if you can. So I'm gonna type it out, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so it's again 5 seconds to get up to 6 if you need it, 5 seconds total at 6, so 10 seconds total there, and then 5 more seconds at 8 after you've shifted 1. So you're gonna do one shift only. And go. All right, shift up. And relax. Good. So what did you guys feel on that shift? Anybody feel skipping or a quick burst of power?
Nope.
No quick burst of power for you? Okay, well, once you shifted up, you shouldn't have had to change your cadence. It should have immediately jumped you from a 6 to an 8 or close. You should have been able to hold that same cadence.
Not even.
Not even? Did you get up to 8?
No.
Well, you're not supposed to be. You're supposed to just ride easy. No, you just ride easy. All right, so at the 15-second mark this time, I want you to give me 5 minutes really hard. 5 seconds really hard. No extra shift though. Same gear. We're gonna start working shifting here in a minute and gearing. Waiting for that to clear. Wait for my get set to clear. And go. That stupid PR thing, I can't see how much power I'm doing here. All right. Good, ease it up. All right, hold 1.0 to 1.5 until I pass you. Now I'm gonna hold 2.0. All right, so does anybody think they could hold that extra hard or the 8.0 really for 20 seconds to a minute? See if anyone replies. Because if they do, we're going to force them to do it. Team Bear says maybe. All right, so. All right, we're gonna do a little test here. We're gonna go 6.0 for 5 seconds, then we're gonna go hard for 15. But here's the kicker. The minute you lose 1 watt per kilo, you gotta stop. So if you get up to 9 but you can't hold it and you drop to 8 or 7, you just stop.
Are we shifting?
You can have 1 shift. One shift and seated still. We're gonna do standing here in a minute, so don't worry about that. Thanks to Right Ons. All right, everybody get ready, get set. Once the set clears, I'm gonna hit go. And go. All right, you should be up from 6.0. 1 shift. All right, ease up. Good job. Anybody make it? A lot of you guys helped the entire time. Anybody blow up?
Was about to.
Nice job, Bear. Nice job, Team Bear. Okay, so we're gonna do similar things standing here in a second. And then we're gonna go into the actual long sprints. Why are we doing it a little bit different now with standing? Personally, I sprint harder and faster standing. Some people are able to sprint better seated. Some start standing and come down to the seat. It all depends on how long the sprint is and what they got in their legs. So that's why we're gonna practice both. And then we'll do freestyle sprinting. All right, we're gonna let a few people catch on still. We got a few people off the back. So the question was, are we only gonna do one shift this whole time? We're gonna go into more shifting in a little bit. But I will tell you, in a sprint, I try not to do more than 2 shifts. It's bad juju shifting under tension. All right, Pasaro, I don't know if we have anyone behind you. Pombo, do we have anybody behind you? We got a couple folks coming back on. We're almost together.
I don't think so.
Okay, got it. I'm gonna lift to 2.0. Jump on my wheel as I pass you. Yeah, Schmitz, you don't want to necessarily you don't want to start at a super high gear. Unless you can turn it over. If you can turn it over, dude, you do what you do. It's not for everybody. So that's why we're kind of working a couple different things. And that's why we're going to go over gearing so people can figure out what works best for them. All right, so you're gonna want to shift up a gear or two. So your pre-sprint cadence, meaning what we're doing at this pace now, should be fairly low when you're standing. Go ahead and get out of your saddle. All right. Get set. Once that clears, I will say go. Remember, just 10 seconds total at 6.0. And go. You'll notice it's really easy to get up to 6.0 because your weight is behind the pedals. So your weight helps get you going on this. And this is what the best part is. It's one of the reasons I sprint out of the saddle, because while I don't have a ton of weight, it does help me get cheap power quickly and get those bigger gears turned over. So Schmitty, what you were talking about, pushing that bigger gear for sprints, you can do that if you come out of the saddle. I don't recommend that from seated position. It's just a lot of torque, and it's wildly inefficient when you're seated.
No, absolutely. I'll just stand up, grab a high gear, start leaning into it. But I'm usually done by the end of it, close through the finish.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna go 5 seconds to build, then 10 seconds at 8.0. So you should still be in a sufficiently high gear that, I mean, this is low RPM seated. That way when you stand, and even standing, you know, you're gonna get a lot of acceleration. All right. There we go. Get ready. Had to get my own gearing right on this one, because I had it geared for a much harder sprint. Get set. And go. 5 seconds to build. Let's go, pick it up now, 10 seconds. 10 seconds around 8. Try and get into that orange if you can. Good, easy, easy. All right, so you should see that you just really easily got up to power. Who's a little out of breath? What you will notice as well, when you are riding out of the saddle, it's going to jump your heart rate and your breathing. It takes more effort. So more power, more heart rate. All right, we're gonna do one 20-second sprint where you go 5 seconds to build it up and then go nuts after that for 15 seconds. With the same rules apply as before. If you drop your watts, 1 watt per kilo down, you're done. All right, remember, then this is because if you go out too hard and you blow up like that, your sprint's over, so you might as well sit down. There's no real reason to keep sprinting for 20th, 5th, or 30th place, unless it's an omnium and you need the points. All right, get set. And go. Build it. Chain. All right, 15 seconds. 5. And ease up. All right. Sure you broke a shoe? I did that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I never had that happen before.
That's what you call power. All right, spin those legs out. Easy gear. We're gonna let Pasaro and Shaw join on. Shelton. Love those cats. All right, so let's tighten it up at the front. Let's ease the 1.0 at the front. I gotta get Alan to make us so we can't see other riders. They're getting in the way of our group. I appreciate the effort you guys are putting in to keep the group fairly tight. You guys are doing awesome. Go back to that. All right, Deirdre, how you faring back there?
I'm trying to catch up.
That's okay, you're doing fine. I gotta put out what we're doing next. All right, we've covered some of the basics with our gearing as far as, you know, we were at a really easy gear when we started off from our seated sprints and we were shifting up. When you're sprinting though, that's not how we want to do it. When you want to launch your sprint, you need to have some resistance and tension in the legs. So therefore you can't be spinning at such an easy gear that you don't have any immediate jump in power when you gun it. So you need to be at a gear that provides you enough resistance. Come on guys. You need to have enough resistance in your legs that when you add power to the pedals, your bike jumps. Your avatar jumps forward. Now, it's going to be a little harder to do starting off at easier or lighter efforts here for some people, but we can push up the gearing enough that you're going to get the same response. And then we're going to learn how to do some shifting. All right, so I want you to find a gear that will drop you to about 60 RPMs at 2.0. Huh? Not yet, babe. I have 21 minutes.
20.
Yeah, 7:30.
Está Juan José con el auto y viene Johnny
Ok, pues saca la parte de acá. No sé cuánto es.
Iniciaron algo, pero
Okay.
va a seguir funcionando algo, no sé qué.
Dinner?
Okay. Sorry, no, something with the car. Okay, I'll talk to him in a minute.
Are you coming?
No, I can't. I get 20 minutes, baby. Okay, so once you're seated like this and we got everyone together, which I think we're a big enough group now. All right, good. Okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna just try our sprint from here. Okay, so what you're gonna see is that first turnover is gonna be hard, but once you get it turned over, you can really get it going. So you wanna try to avoid rocking too much back and forth. Just dig down and drive through the quads. So when we launch, you're going to launch, and I want you to build to 90 RPMs. I don't care what the power is. I want you to build to 90 RPMs, then ease up. Okay? Just going to see what it feels like to get from 60 to 90 in that gear. I don't know how much it is. He'll tell you.
Pero, ¿cuánto crees?
Probably 2 or 5. So. All right, so get ready. Get set. Seated, no shifting. Ramp it up and go. Just get to 90 RPMs. What does it take? Try and catch that power. See what power you're putting out at 90. Whew, 589. Good, Schmitty. Okay, so right there, that tells you if you did not like that, which I didn't, I hated that, then that's not a good way for you to start. All right, let's let some more folks catch on. Now, what does that mean? If you did not like that and you can't handle that, it means you're gonna need to learn to shift a little bit. So once we start on the next round of this, we're gonna start off at about a 75 RPMs, and that's gonna require us one shift. When you hit about 90, shift and get it back to 90. Realistically, I actually don't shift until I'm closer to 100 to 105 RPMs, but just for the sake of you feeling what it takes, that's what I want. I want you to do it that way this time. Yeah.
Tienes que cambiar el sensor. El sensor este de leva está mal. No.
Okay. Ya, dile como 500 por su tiempo. Sí, hay como 200 en este sobre, ¿no? Dile 500 por su tiempo. All right, let's pick a gear at 75 RPMs. My car is deciding it wants to die on me a little bit here, trying to get that fixed, which is always a challenge. All right, 2.0, 75 RPMs. When I say go, I want you to build in that same gear to 90 RPMs, and then shift up once. One gear. Then rebuild to 90 and stop. No, just 90 right now. Just 90 RPMs right now. All right, let's get set. Find your 75 RPMs. All right, at 2.0, I'm about right there. It's about perfect. Okay. And go. There it goes. One shift. And I'm back down. All right, we got another ride coming through. So what you notice there is it's really easy to get up, right? So again, we go back to finding that right gearing. Probably too easy of a gear for me. Yeah, way too fast, way fast. Would have required at least 2 more shifts. So I'm gonna need to start 1 more gear down. We're gonna start off at 70 RPMs, and then we'll build again. So go ahead and find that 70 RPMs 2.0. All right, and go. And my 1 shift is at 475 watts, and hit 90 at 527, 563. So, for me, that got up to a really good, doable number quick. Now we're gonna do the same standing. And then we're gonna start going into our free-for-all sprints after that. Thanks, Doug. All right, so go ahead and get out of the saddle and find 60 RPMs. You want to have tension. So it shouldn't be 60 easy, it should be 60 doing your 2.0. All right, get ready. Get set. And go, get to 90 RPMs. And ease off. So anybody notice anything different about your power numbers? Were you able to get any higher than last time seated? Woo! 8:19, Schmitty. Nice. Yeah, so you definitely notice that. The heart goes boom because it's much harder. All right, so we're gonna go up to 70 RPMs, one shift this time. All right, so let's come out of the saddle. All right, I'm gonna get ready and get set. All right, and go. Ah, it's too easy of a gear for me. All right, so one of the things when you're doing these, if you notice there's a difference in your seated and your standing. The seated, you can't turn over that gear like you can when you're standing. Yeah, I had the same problem. So you can get the bigger gear over when you're in the standing position much easier than seated. That costs though when you start talking burn matches. You know, so you only have so many of those in your legs, where you have a lot more of those medium RPM ones up when you're seated. You have a lot more of those in your legs. Those are small matches. When you do a standing sprint, you're burning a big match or multiple matches. All right, general rule of thumb, no more than 2 shifts. Why do I say that? Well, when you're shifting under load, whether that's because you're climbing or sprinting, your chain is not going to hop necessarily smoothly unless everything is perfectly dialed. And if you watch Pro Tour racing, you'll see that those guys have professional mechanics who work on their bikes all the time, and it's not always dialed in. So you try to limit the load and tension strain put on the chain when it's shifting gears. So we're going to do 2 sprints, 1 seated, 1 standing, with 2 shifts. All right, so it's real simple. We're gonna start at 75 RPMs at 2.0. We're gonna get up to 90, shift, get it back to 90, shift, get back up to 90, and then max it out for 5 seconds. Any questions on that? Too easy, right? All right, get set. And go. All right, let your legs recover real quick. Real simple, spin them out. We have a lot of time left, so we're gonna, yeah, last gear hit me too. All right, so we're gonna sprint standing this time. If you have to, go back to the saddle after your second shift, but try to stay standing the whole time. Let's get out of the saddle. Get around 65 to 70 RPMs. Get ready. Same as we just did. Get set. And go. Let's go. Get on up there. Well, it shifted for me. Got an automatic shift on this one. Whew, that hurt and was horrible.
Yeah, that hurt.
Yeah. So, Schmitty, that goes to what I was talking about, trying to avoid shifting. When you shift under duress or under strain, it does not shift well, which throws you off your rhythm. So we're gonna do one more sprint and then cool down. I want you guys to pick whatever you want, seated, standing, whatever technique you wanna do. I personally am going to go standing, no shift. 20 seconds, however you want. Like I said, I'm gonna get my gearing ready here. Okay, I think I'm perfect right there. The bike has decided I need to do one more. All right, I think I'm perfect right there. Get ready. Get set. 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Screwed myself up on a shift. All right, spin the legs out. Good job. Super easy gear. All right. I'm gonna give you guys a wrap up here in a second. Okay, so quick wrap up for you guys. Thank you. That's a good compliment. Okay, quick wrap up for you guys. When you're working on your sprinting, and this is something you got to work on constantly, especially as you start developing, whether you're developing endurance, your FTP or VO2. If you want to be a good sprinter, it's a perishable skill. Important part is learning how to sprint from speed, which you can practice that in races, you can practice that in workouts. Once you got that down, you'll know your gearing. But until you know that, practice your gearing. Practice just riding around on Zwift and say, okay, this is race pace effort. You know, at race pace, we hold, 4.5 at this point in the race. All right, from 4.5, what's a good gear? They asked me at dinner time, that's right. What's a good gear that we can hold? Can I shift up 2 more, drop my RPMs down from 90 to 80 or 75 right before I go and then hammer it? And is that a good gear for me to keep the whole time? Personally, that's kind of how I do it. I am not the sprinter example. I do okay. You want to watch guys like Justin Wagner, Robert Lyons, Brett Boniface, Justin Laborio, New Jay. Those are the guys who are real good sprint beasts. Eric Denning is not bad either. So those are the guys you want to really watch. I watch them and learn. Physiologically, that's not me. I'm not the sprinter. I'm a climber. I go up hills. But learning those techniques, learning how much you can hold for how long is really going to set you apart. So if you're not that 200 meter sprinter, but you're a 400 or 800 meter sprinter, you can learn those things and apply them on here or in your real life rides. Likewise, it helps you when you're doing those short bridges if you get dropped from your group when you're riding with them. So a lot of things we covered today. I know some of the hypoxia might have set in for some folks at certain points. You guys did a really good job. Really appreciate everyone working hard to stay together. In the end, we got strung out, but that's okay. That was kind of intentional based on what we were doing. So again, really appreciate the effort on your guys' part. Does anybody have any questions of me about what we just covered today?
Nice job. Thanks a lot.
No worries. Glad to do that.
Great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Deirdre. All right, so we'll be on here every Wednesday at 6:30, at least for the next 4 or 5 weeks or so. I'll have to take a short break in November as I have another race, but we'll be on here through then. Every week is something a little bit different. When we get back to a course with the light hills, we're going to talk about how to manage your gearing as we approach those hills. So I got to see what next week is. I've not looked at it yet. a little busy with my actual job. So if you want to see other ODZ rides, you can go to www.teamodz.com, or I'm going to push them to the stream right here. So if you want to see that, you can check out Zwift Live by ODZ on Facebook, or you can check the Team ODZ YouTube channel, because this will be up there. So take a look. And you can see tomorrow we have the Thursday night throwdown. We have Fridays in the feed zone, followed by the ebb, which is a light ride, nice easy ride until the last 1K, which is a sprint. And on weekends we have some good events. This week will be coffee ride, not cat and mouse, like is mentioned. And then we start going back to the week. So I encourage everyone to take a look at that. As well, if you're interested in doing some group training work, we've got the Endurance Lab by ODZ kicking off October 2nd for the Team Worlds race, if you guys are interested in participating in that. So hit me up on Facebook, or Jason Flores or Mitch Dangermond for that. We can get you more information. That is going to be it for me. Appreciate everyone watching, those who watched on the stream and those who watched later, and I really appreciate you guys for coming out and joining us. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Have a lot of fun here.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good night.
Night.
Good night.